Wow, you lose that team fight because we go AFK. That's crazy. That's why you don't go AFK, chat. This is a Winston game, yeah? Oh, we got some Doomfist? Okay. The only thing I'm going to say is slamming somewhere where people aren't is a little difficult because now you only have 2 abilities. Looks like we're safe though, so we're chilling. But now, like, you don't have it, right? You don't have your, you didn't have slam, right? Like, look, we're gonna punch in, right? We punch in, but you don't have your slam right here, right? So because you don't have slam, this is why you die in 2 seconds. Because you punched into the enemy team, don't have anything. So yeah, they just do everything they can to beat you up. And even though once you get slam, you just lose it. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Oh my Jesus, what the hell happened here? Okay, so we're pushing in. I mean, you could have slammed out, but you're like, for some reason you like popping your block in bad positions rather than slamming to a decent position and then blocking there. Okay, so we're on Winton. Let's see how the Winton do. Okay. Alright, so first thing I'm going to say is what is the point of our slam here, right? Let's just break this down, right? Okay, so Genji's half, sure. But you know you can't do anything on it. Or you reload, and then you just jump. Is there a point to this jump? I don't think there is. I think you're just jumping because you're jumping. Because we didn't really find anyone to target or land on. You land basically right here in the middle of things, which you could have just done the same thing, but chilled here until you found someone to jump to or found somewhere to jump out. Not to mention, we didn't check to see if our team was even with us, right? Looks like we have 3 people with us, and then we have a Junkrat just coming out of spawn. So you're already losing this fight, and you've already decided that you're engaging on this, well, we haven't engaged on anyone. We kind of just, like, jumped into the enemy team without any kind of commit or anything, right? So looks like it works out, but now we have noticed that we have no abilities. And so because we don't have any abilities, you know, we probably could die here. We just jumped in without a bubble, get caught in a Junkrat trap and die. So yeah, like I said, I think it's just a little bit too, you're like rushing it a little bit too much. Don't know what this bubble was for. Kind of a waste of a bubble, if you ask me, because now you don't have bubble to block rock. Okay, we're in. Yeah, just wait until you get full health. Or not. Same thing as this bubble. You land here and you drop bubble. Is it to kill the Sigma? Because Sigma's not even close to death, right? So we probably shouldn't drop bubble here. You probably want to wait until he's done connect grasping and then probably drop bubble, right? Because then he's lower. But you're kind of dropping it way too early, and now he's out of your bubble, and he's, again, not even low. And now you don't have bubble to block this rock. So now you're basically on the chance of dying because he waited out your abilities, waited out your bubble, and now he's rocking you. So it's kind of like this ability trading and this understanding of like when the, you know, like what you're saving your bubbles for. Which right now it just looks like whenever you're taking a bunch of damage, you just decide to drop a bubble. I think it's that and the fact that you don't know when, like, who you're diving. Like, personally, I probably, because you had ult, instead of turning back around, why are we not using our cleave to work on the support some more? And then maybe even pop primal and start actually, like, bursting down the supports. Instead, you kind of just gave up all kind of pressure that you had to come back here. And now, you know, like, we're soft diving again. If you land this far from a hero, you're going to do less damage. If you land right on top of him, you do 50 damage. And right now, we probably did... I don't know. How much damage is that? That's like 3, 4, maybe 5 damage to this brig here. If you land on her, you do 50. So just keep in mind, like, you need to think about, like, actually landing on your targets too, not just, like, landing beside them. But yeah, I think a lot of the time we're not thinking about, like, who we're targeting. You need to identify these moments where someone has used an ability, and it could be like, oh, Juno uses her dash. Cool, we can dive her. Brig has no shield bash, you know, you can dive her. Things like that. But it looks like to me that you're just kind of, like, trying to see someone, like, trying to make space by diving. That's not really how it works. You need to kind of, like, wait for someone to waste an ability or something, and once they've wasted that ability, now you can dive, because now they're not going to have whatever it is to stop the dive. Also, if you are going to be just fighting a brig, punching is going to do more than just holding down your shot. Juggling could use work. That was a wasted bubble. Okay. Probably wasted your bubble there too. I would have probably used it after the jump, after I dove in some more. Jumping into a Sigma with no bubble is just certain death. Also, meleeing when you land will get you another, no extra damage. So keep that in mind too. Just like choosing not only landing on your targets, but meleeing right before. I think right now there's a bug with the Winston jump that it actually just cancels his landing damage. Hopefully they'll patch that out and it'll be back to normal. But again, if you're not cleaving people, probably better to just punch the person so you're conserving ammo and doing more damage. It's also more burst damage compared to what your gun is. Nice. I'm gonna be honest. See this Genji dashing? As soon as we see that Genji dashes here, we know he has no way of getting out from this position. So we know that actually now is the best time to probably dive him and get a free pick. Because we know he doesn't have dash, right? And Genji can't deflect Winston's Tesla gun. We can probably dive in on him. If we see or hear Sigma trying to throw a rock, we just drop our shield to block the rock. And we end up killing the Genji because he can't get away from us. But you kind of don't recognize that. So instead, Genji's okay with wasting his dash here to make nothing happen. And not only that, you know, he gets booped back to safety from your Junkrat. Genji just used both abilities. So he can definitely die. There we go. Good. We waited for the whip bash to now jump on the brig. Weird that we walk away from the brig, considering she's a big support and big heals. I probably would have just tried to finish the brig off more. You do more damage out of Primal than you do in Primal. Then that's mainly just because unless you're really good at landing these jumps onto people or juggling, your gun's just going to be more consistent, especially in terms of AoE damage. So, only reason I would pop Primal is if I'm getting like real low or I want to dive really deep onto the back line. Like jump onto like, I don't know, a Kiriko. Kiriko gets like half and then she teleports away. Now I can pop Primal to keep chasing her because I know she's not going to have teleport for 6 seconds. A big part of just playing Winston and dive is to recognize those abilities. And then, you know, once you recognize that the ability was used and or wasted, now you can engage because you know they don't have that anymore. Yeah, it looks like we're just gonna group up here. I probably wouldn't go for a Reaper just because he has so much health. I'd probably rather prioritize a Genji. Just because he can't do anything to Zarya. Looks like we're just gonna hit. It's fine. Yeah. And I think we just win because of that. They might have one last touch. Going AFK isn't helping. You know, you kind of lost your Tracer just because you go AFK. You actually lost both your damage because you go AFK. That's a little disheartening. Wow, you lose that team fight because we go AFK. That's crazy. That's why you don't go AFK, chat. Literally just don't do it. You could have, instead of just standing on point, could have pressured up and made it so that, you know, the Reaper was lower health before he even got to point to Death Blossom. But yeah. We dive in, we bubble for no reason again. Kind of, you're bubbling prematurely. You need to wait until you're actually getting shot at to decide to use a bubble on yourself. What are we using our gun on? Surely we touch here, though, chat. No, we're not gonna touch. You just gave up a fight? I would have thought at least contest it. Because now you're down 2 on final fight. And are we staggering here? At least we get a kill with it, but a stagger is still not great. Good news is you guys are equidistant from spawn door. Targeting Zarya is not who we want to go after, especially as Winstons. And you didn't choose a target when you dove there, because if you chose a target to dive, you would have actually gained your Primal, and then you would have been able to use Primal there. Yeah, this is good. There is a skybox, so that's a little upsetting, but... Again, Zarya's not who you want to go for. I'd probably prioritize Genji or one of the supports, just because they can't really do much to you. See, there we go. Now we're focusing the Genji. It's going much better when you're focusing people that aren't Zarya. And surprisingly, your team actually comes out on top in that one. But holy, that could have been a lot easier if you just weren't AFK on point B. But I guess we're just a D team, chat. So yeah, basically, it looks like you just need to... If you haven't seen the newest YouTube video, exclamation point YouTube in chat, but if you haven't seen that, make sure you watch that, because that's going to help you kind of like understand these examples better on like recognizing when abilities are just used so you can go in. But it looks like you just need to recognize when someone has used a mobility ability and or wasted a ability that's going to allow you to dive. and then basically jive that person. Think about like targets to dive. I usually make something like a list. So like if I'm Winston, usually my dive targets, if I had to choose dive targets, it's gonna be like Mercy, #1 priority, then Ana, then we probably go Bap, and then you go, it's probably Zen, then Ilari, and then like Face Ranger, then Lucio, then Brig. And then of course you have to weave in the damage, so if they have like a Widowmaker, that's obviously top. Widowmakers, Hanzos, Genjis. Genji's after dash though. Because Genji's before dash is like closer to the bottom. Things like that. So you have to almost make like a priority list too of like people you're going to dive. But yeah, there's some people that you can dive like 100% every single time. You know, like a Mercy. Mercy's not really gonna do anything. She's just gonna fly away. But you get your jump like she gets 2 flies every time you get 1 jump. So you just kind of chase her down, more or less. Ana's gonna be like only diveable if she doesn't have sleep. So just keep in mind like this, you know, these things, and the more you kind of like understand that and understand like prioritizing dives and who has abilities that can stop you and who doesn't, it's gonna make your target priority on diving a lot easier.